record on this computer. And we're back once again. Welcome back, everybody. Good to see you all.
Hello.
Hey there.
Hello.
Hello. It's me, Amy, your DM, and I'm here with Alex
Hello.
and Michael
Hello.
and Lucas
Hey, how's it going?
and Victoria
Hi.
and DK.
Hello.
And we're going to dive right in tonight, my friends. Here we go. The last time we were all here together, you guys were awoken in the middle of the night by an ambush by Granny Nightshade. A tense battle erupted between you and Granny Nightshade's, her pet pseudo-dragon Cradlefall, a bunch of redcaps and tin soldiers. In the midst of battle, Omric making Cradlefall strategically run away for quite some time. Echo slicing through the enemies, and Juniper tearing out throats. Ree and Nox disappearing and reappearing to their heart's contents, leaving absolute devastation in their wake. Indai summoning giant mastiffs and Dash swinging with his spectral fists. The eventual defeat of Granny Nightshade by a mighty hammer smash by Omric. You all made sure that the kids were safe. And you desperately tried to save Little Oak, which turned into quite the sad moment. Indai finds an acorn, one of the last little remnants of Little Oak, and gives it to Will. Omric and Rockarel performing your honorary and funerary rites for Little Oak before Nox and Rockarel agree to make sure that the children all make it home safe and sound, leaving down an illuminated path through the forest and disappearing from your sight. And now you, the Undeciders, are standing at the edge of a burnt clearing with the still form of Little Oak burning at the edge of it. What would you like to do? Welcome back.
Okay. I just want to what time of evening day is this?
It is maybe a couple of hours before sunrise.
Okay. And all the kids are gone, and it's just us now.
Just you now, yep.
Okay. I think I just want to take a walk around the perimeter and see what I can see.
Okay. You have dark vision.
Yes, I do.
Okay, excellent. You can make a perception check for me, please. I'm getting your music queued up. Sorry, I forgot.
Sorry about that, guys. Just 1 second.
Nope.
Oh, at 1.
Nat 1. I mean, there's a lot of wreckage around here.
Okay. I'm just gonna keep pacing around the edges.
Okay.
For now.
Echo, I'm gonna turn to Ree and Omric and say, what is the mission?
Well, I think that we've completed the ones that we've had thus far, I guess. We got Omric and Dash's items. I guess it's time to get ours, Echo.
Suggestions?
I mean, they're not here. I don't feel them, do you?
I do not.
No, I don't really know where to begin.
Throwing things into circles of mushrooms seems to be exciting.
That's true. I think that the particular circle of mushrooms we found, we might want to, we're so far away from it, we might want to find another one.
I think it would be better to rest at this point.
Oh, yes, for sure. I did just pass out for about an hour, but yes.
I agree that resting makes sense, and with Indai's object in the last realm we were in, and Dash's in mine here, and we know that there are more creatures like Babylon and Granny Nightshade out there that have probably done similar things to other lands. I think first it makes sense to confirm that this land is starting to heal from the damage that was done to it, or that the people are starting to recover. And then to look for a way to get to wherever the next of these hags is.
Yeah.
Got a
Jan?
question on this one.
So when Indai and I were up in the tree, futilely trying to pad out fires, was the oil can anywhere around up there?
You can make a make an insight check. First roll of the
22.
game. 22. Very good. You recall seeing the pillow that the oil can had been laying on in flames, but you don't recall seeing the oil can.
Okay. I think Dash would just not really even say anything to anybody. He would just start looking around, seeing if he could find that, because he would know that, we had the submission of trying to get the squeezins for the oil can, and if we did, he would help us, or it would help us get to the next area. So he's just gonna hunt about.
You could make me an investigation check. Second
Good.
roll of the game.
Whoop, whoop.
Oh, that was intimidation.
yeah.
That was that. Well, I wish I got that base number. Investigation. It's a 4.
4. Unfortunately, you don't find any traces of it. The little purple tassel you find in the ash and rubble.
Okay.
Do I, Dash, are you trying to hide the fact that you're looking for something at all?
No, I'm just
Oh.
not engaging with anybody particularly.
I think if I see you looking, I'll go, Dash, what are you looking for?
I'm looking for our little oil can friend.
Yes, our little oil can friend. Do you think he survived the fire? I
Not
really
much
want.
did, but I mean, pretty much everything when we were up there was on fire.
True, but if anything's going to survive a fire, it's metal. I'm assuming that's what he was made of. Can I help Dash look?
Yeah, you can either make your own investigation check or you can give it to Dash with advantage.
Is it okay if I make it?
You better.
And I'll help.
Thank you.
There you go.
I've also got
Everybody's
experience in
searching.
helping this oil can out.
All right, let's go with advantage. Okay, 19.
19, not bad. You do not see the oil can where you are, but you do find a couple little splodges of this inky black viscous kind of fluid, moving back the way that you all had come in.
As in from not Bavlorna? No.
From Loomlurch.
From
From Loomlurch.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, I think that I think it looks like he headed off back to Loomlurch, and I would very much like to go back there too to, I don't know, see what Granny Nightshade had there, but I do agree with Endai that we should probably rest first.
I think Endai has already like found a little place to curl up into a ball, kind of like almost in a more protective way than he usually is, but still maybe just over next to one of the burned logs, just laying down, sleeping.
Okay.
I will keep watch.
And I'm
The rest of
thoroughly
you going to
torn.
sleep?
Part of me wants to head out right now, but I'm also very aware of how spent I am. And so, grudgingly, with reluctance and full of self-doubt, I will also attempt to settle in for an uneasy rest as I do, reflecting as is my way on what Little Oak had to endure throughout the fight and afterward, as someone who was a wholly innocent person in this, who was just trying to help the children out.
All right. Echo, you can make a perception check for me as the rest of your group settles in for a rest. Shackley, working.
Yeah, and Dash is just going to sit down as he has before with his back to Echo, just kind of meditate for a little while, and because he's not in a restful mood at the moment, so he's does not know if it's emotionally time for him to unwind or not. He's still just got too much stuff running around his head, so he will try to keep a assistant watch.
Okay. And you can either have advantage or Dash, you can make your own perception check.
Well, they can have advantage because it's always going to be better.
So much better.
I mean, for survival, I got a +3.
Perception.
Oh, for perception,
Yeah.
I'm a plus.
I'm rather
+3
perceptive.
Yeah, I'm +3 as well for that.
Yeah, mine's more. That's a 25 for perception with advantage.
25. Excellent. So the rest of the night passes mostly uneventfully. You know, the fire that's contained within the trunk of what used to be Little Oak is, you know, kind of slowly coming down from an open flame to an ember and then eventually just to a cold sort of ash. And the rest of your group sleeps until pretty late morning, 9:30, 10, something along those lines. And before you all awake, fully rested, except for you, Dash. You only got a short rest.
That's all I need.
And the day is yours.
All right, Loomlurch.
To Loomlurch.
Lead.
Okay.
I'll stay in the back.
Okay. Very good then. All right, you all follow the now familiar path back to Loomlurch. And approach, and as you see Loomlurch kind of appearing in the distance, you notice that there are little plumes of smoke coming up from various locations within the giant trunk that serves or served as Granny Nightshade's home and shop. And as you approach the root bridges that you originally crossed over this dry riverbed, you notice that there is new growth beginning to appear on them. And there's like a really bright, vibrant green shoots coming out from the roots that make up these bridges with very small little bright green leaves unfurling on them. But otherwise they are unchanged at the moment. We going to
I'll walk
continue
into
to
town
approach?
holding my longbow,
Okay, you're
even
going to
more
the
stoic
front
than
door.
usual.
Are you going to the front door of Loomlurch, or are you moving around to the Goblin Market? Which way are you approaching?
Once we cross the bridge, I'll step to the side, and just look at the rest of the group.
Okay.
Do does the smoke look like dangerous? Does it look like something is burning out of control?
It does not look rampant. It is just very thin little plumes from 3 or 4, maybe 5 different locations. It doesn't look like there is a fire raging, but it looks like there was a fire. It's maybe not completely extinguished.
Not another tree on fire.
Do we
Perhaps this one
see
deserves that.
on the way? Did we see any more of the oily droplets?
You can make a perception check or
Mhm.
survival. You're tracking something. Have
I will
either.
help.
It's the same either way. Ooh, a natural 20 for a 23.
Nah, very nice. Natural 20. Yeah, once it's been pointed out to you, it's actually quite easy to follow. And you do follow it all the way to the front door of Loomlurch, which is gapped open. You know, you guys didn't close it behind you when you went tearing out of here. So it's about halfway open. When is a door not a door?
When it's ajar?
When it's ajar.
Ah,
I don't think Dash has any subtlety currently. So he's just gonna stride right in and just look for what he's looking for, which at this point is just oil boy.
Give me 1 second. I'm sorry, I'm working. Okay, sorry. Needed my attention for a second there, but I can handle it tomorrow. All right, pushing through the front door, the parlor that you were in previously, having tea with Granny Nightshade, looks much the same. 3 of the 4 chairs have shifted position, so they're not clustered around the table like they were to begin with, and they seem to be in really nice condition in balance to the rest of the room, which looks like it's been tossed.
I think I just instantly start walking over to one of the chairs to sit down, not even thinking about it.
And I'm gonna put a hand on his belt and try to pull him back before he can sit down.
Yeah,
Hey,
I think if Dash
tired.
sees it, he's just gonna kick whatever chair he was about to sit down in. He's just gonna kick it out from under him.
Guys. Uh,
It's not
there
even
are
been
other.
it's not even been 24 hours since one of these tried to eat us. So, you know, a little caution.
oh yeah, I forgot.
I'm sure there are other chairs to sit in.
I'd like to go find a chair.
There are 4 chairs,
Uh,
3 of which are no longer in their original positions.
the one that is in its original position, that's the one I want to sit in. I just run over there and sit down immediately in it without anybody.
It's pretty comfy.
Juniper and I are hanging out by the door. I'm gonna pull an arrow out.
It's a really comfy chair. Very nicely upholstered.
And I just look over to Amrik and I go, ha ha, see, it's fine.
Even a broken clock is right twice a day.
As it's always been, our luck is dumb but consistent. All right,
Right?
let's go find some boggles.
Before we go, or maybe while the chair stuff was happening, you said the room was tossed that we were in?
Yes.
Can I do some kind of check to just like see, like try and get a sense of what perhaps whoever tossed it was looking for, or like how it happened, perhaps like what happened in here? Other than the chairs moving, which I think we can assume we know what happened there.
I mean, maybe.
Right.
Yeah, you can make make an investigation check.
Yeah, that's a good one. She says when she's about to get a bad roll, probably because she said that.
Everybody else is like, what are you talking about, a roll?
Yay, 24.
24, yeah. So there's still quite a bit of stuff in here. So like the original tea set that was sat down when you guys first came in here is still in place. But a lot of the drawers on kind of like the what are they, hutches? The drawers have been pulled open and there's, just kind of bits strewn about it. Nothing that you are currently looking at looks like it would have much value. And you're not quite sure if Granny Nightshade would have even kept things of monetary value. But none of the things that you're looking at, while interesting and kind of gross and creepy, is definitely not worth any sort of money or trading ability.
Okay.
If we look out of the door or window from here, are we able to still see the goblin market?
Mm-hmm.
Does it look like there's even a single person alive in here?
You do not see anybody currently out there. The tables that had originally been absolutely creaking with sweets are kind of jostled out of place. One of them's broken, a couple of them on their side. And there is one of those thin plumes of smoke coming up from what looks to be like a kind of, the table's buckled and broken in the center, and it looks like the inside of it has begun to char and ash, and this thin plume of smoke is coming up from there. But you don't currently see any people or humanoids or any living being in the goblin market currently.
I'm curious if maybe the goblins decided to do a hot exit and plunder the house on their way.
But
It's
why
what-
would they just
It's what I think I would probably do if I were in their shoes.
but why would they destroy their own wares? Why wouldn't they take the candy with them?
I don't know. I don't know the mind of goblins for sure.
That's true.
The candy's
I-
horrifying.
I know merchants, but I don't know goblin merchants.
I just yell out, squirt, squirt.
You do not hear anything in response.
I'm gonna look at Juniper and then walk across the room to the other door.
Okay.
Knocking a teacup and saucer off the table as I go. Yeah,
I'll just after
walk
looking at
through.
everything, I'll just wipe my hands on my skirt and be like, yeah, we can move on.
Okay. You push through the door and you find yourself in the workshop that you had been in here before. You do not currently see, there's what you had seen before. There are, these parts of toys that are heaped up on these tables, and they are still there, although there are more pieces on the floor. The windows looking out back towards the Goblin Market are all broken and smashed, and it looks like pieces of the glass have fallen to the inside of the room. Um, there are various accoutrements, leering dolls' heads, half-built rocking horses, unpainted wooden balls, like stuffed limbs for soft toys. Um, and that's about it. It is oddly quiet. The last time you had been in here, there was a small kind of music tinkling on like bells and chimes, which is not currently present. So it is very, very quiet in this room.
Is there any sign of more oil splotches?
Make a perception check.
Okay. 17.
17. There are a couple of splotches in here. They look like it's moving back further into the tree.
I'll follow the splotches.
Okay. You go across the room, and as you're making your way across, you feel a like pow in your side, and a little wooden ball has just flown off of the floor and caught you in the side and in your ribs. And you look around, not quite sure where it came from.
Am I able to investigate where it came from?
Yes, you can make an investigation check.
Investigation. 15.
15. You don't see anything.
Hmm.
Hmm.
What the hell?
What
Looking
happened
around the
tonight?
room, Echo, your attention is caught by one of the little doll's heads just turning to look at all of you.
Gonna grab it with my hand and toss it to Endai.
Okay? It's a creepy plastic doll's head.
Disgusting. I want to look inside of it.
It's hollow,
Oh,
and there's nothing currently inside of it.
Is there anything around where the doll's head turned?
You don't currently see anything.
Any more oil splotches in this room?
Just the ones that you originally saw when you came in.
Okay.
I'm going to go through and keep going to the next door. Where we know is it the kitchen that's off of that?
You're getting close to the kitchen. You have to
Yeah,
go
we
through
got the hallway first and then the
Oh,
kitchen.
the hallway. Just gonna
Yeah,
keep progressing.
Because Dash is interested in the paintings too. He wants to feel the validation of seeing one of the paintings not moving anymore.
Ooh,
Hopefully.
yes.
I'm gonna pull out both of my daggers
Okay.
after getting smacked with a ball.
Yeah, since this is one of the only signs of activity that we've seen so far, I'm also curious and want to see if I can figure out what's going on.
All right. I step through the next door and into the familiar
Sorry.
circular room.
Sorry, I actually was not ready to leave the room yet. I wanted to figure out what's going on.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, go right ahead.
I'll
Sure.
stay with Amrik in that room, and I'll take. Endai, can I see the doll?
Sure, I don't want it. It's stupid and hollow. And there's nothing inside of it. And I'll just toss it over at her.
I do not catch it and I pick it up off the floor. Like, oh God, oh, okay, great. Wonderful. I'm gonna speak to it. I'm gonna say, hello, hi, are you watching us?
There is no response.
All right, well, that was a bust, and I just help Omric. I will keep it though. I'll tuck it in my bag.
Okay. Weird plastic doll's head. Put it in your inventory.
Just the head?
Yeah, just the head.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so much worse. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that's so bad. Actually, can I cast Identify on it?
Sure. Are you going to ritually cast it?
No, I'll spell slot.
All right. I
Do it
just
in a
wanted to
minute.
see what the ritual would look like. It
No, I don't want to spend
is
more time with it.
it is a plastic doll's head.
Okay, great. Well, I'm going to keep this, but I'm not happy about it. And I've like with two fingers put it in my bag.
Mhm.
I like
Plastic
close
doll's
its
head.
eyes, or I like put like a piece of paper over its eyes.
It's a future shot glass, if nothing else.
That's true.
All right, Rick, what were you looking for, my friend?
So I'm first gonna try to find the ball that hit Indai, and then if I can't see anything weird about that, I'm gonna go back to look at where it came from to see if I can figure out what propelled it in to find him.
Okay. It's easy enough to find the ball. It's still on the floor. And tracing it back to where it came from, you can make an investigation check
And I will help with all of it.
with advantage.
Roll one's an 8.
Great.
Roll 2 is a 19. So thank you very much, Ree, for the assist.
Yeah.
At 19. Okay. You make your way over to where you believe this projectile was hurled from, and you notice that there is a cabinet that the door is just slightly open, and moving towards that space, notice just the slight light that is in here reflect off of some sort of set of eyes.
All right. So I'm gonna do the like quiet raise the hand thing to try to get everybody's attention to focus them on that. Put finger to my lips to try and encourage folks to be quiet. And then I'm going to pull out my hammer and like my war hammer and carefully try to like edge the door open.
Okay.
Do I notice this with my passive perception?
Yeah. Once it's pointed out to you, you can all go, oh shit.
I'll knock an arrow,
Okay.
but I'm not
All right,
moving. Still in the hallway.
Yeah,
Still in the hallway.
I don't think Dash has paid any attention to this at all. He's a
Just
little
moved on.
fixated right now.
Gotcha. All right, Almeric, you edge open the cabinet door with your hammer, and this kind of slinky black figure made of weird viscous gel-like fluid like kind of burbles its way out of the cabinet and takes off across the line of the cabinets trying to make its way to the door.
Fantastic use of the word purple.
Thank you.
Am I close to this door?
Yeah.
I
It's
wanna-
a vaguely small space. We're all vaguely close to everything.
I'm gonna shut the door before he can go through.
Okay. You close the door and the figure kind of gloops up for a moment before it seems to like flatten itself and begin to flow underneath the door crack.
I'll fling open the door and chase after it.
Okay. It darts off down the well, going into the next room where Dash is standing about 20 feet ahead of you or so, is the round room that you all had previously been in that had the little painted wooden houses along the walls with the staircase that goes upward. And there is just a scattering of armor everywhere. There's helmets and breastplates and boots and chainmail shirts that are all just empty and scattered amongst the place. And this little figure of fluidity like goes flying into one of the helmets, and you see it kind of rattle and spin for a moment before it becomes still.
Weren't you planning on collecting oil from something? Boggle oil? Maybe that's it.
Boggle oil.
Do you keep any of your promises?
Was the texture, did the texture look similar to the fluid that we found, the making a trail?
Yes, it does.
Okay. It's alive? He didn't mention that it would be alive.
Well,
Or is it Squirt? Did Squirt become possessed with it?
I mean, Squirt did say that we would have to squeeze it to get the residue out. So this may be what we need to squeeze.
All right, so I'll say, quick, grab that doll head and bring it over here. And I'm gonna jump on the helmet and reach inside and grab what's in there. Like very just like lift it just so to where it barely comes up, and then reach my hand in there and pull it out.
And I will be right next to him, just holding the doll's head like a nurse with like an instrument.
It's a cup. It's a cup.
I'm here. I got it. I got it.
You can make an either athletics or athletics. Let's do an athletics check on that one. I think that sounds right.
I am good with that. Kind of 10.
A 10. You attempt to, but it's like the liquid kind of like bends itself up on the sides of the bowls everywhere you put your hand. It's like adjusting to where you can't touch it before it spills out of the helmet and back down onto the floor, and takes off once again further down into Loom Lurch. Dash, you are in its way.
Yeah, I think seeing this, Dash is literally he's just gonna bamf out his arms, and it's the old gloopy versions again, because he's not overly irritated. And he just tries to make a giant net out of his big like astral fingers and just try to just make a little tent and just catch it on the ground, try to pin it in place.
Okay, you can.
Echo is just watching, expressionless. Just watch it scamper past.
Just watch it scamper past. I love it. Give me 1 second. My music's really acting up tonight.
I can't hear it at all.
Not sure why.
Oh yeah, I can't either.
Yeah, it just stopped, and I missed it when it stopped. So let's see if you can hear it now.
I've been able to hear it for a second.
Kind of a quiet bit. Yeah, got it. Okay, cool. I paid an extra Patreon membership to get it's so good. It's worth every freaking penny. It was awesome. Anyway. All right, you can make an athletics check as well, too, to try and pin it down.
And while he's doing that,
Okay.
I'll run and try to catch up and like wait for whatever happens.
Technically speaking,
Technically.
Was it within 10 feet of me when I bamfed out my arms?
Yeah.
Because I could force it to make a dex saving throw or take force
Good.
damage.
Good.
And I think in his current mindset, I think he probably would.
Good.
So it's a
I
dex.
also think Juniper would be very interested in a prey-like creature coming down the hallway.
It's a DC 13.
Was not planning on rolling anything tonight to get out my dice.
Mission accomplished.
Surprise!
No, I don't care about that one. Just a D20. Nope. I got a nat 1. Thank you, dice roller. That's great. Nat 1. So you do manage to pin it down, and it's like it keeps trying to pull away from you, but it like gets too thin, so it has to like pull its viscosity back in together in order
Okay.
to stay in one piece. So you do successfully have it grappled.
Gotcha.
Quote,
Well, and then
unquote.
it technically took 2d6 force damage then as well.
Roll your damage.
Don't kill him.
If it's time.
This
it's
is probably
time.
what threw the ball at
It's-
you.
Six damage.
6
force
points of damage. All right, as you bamf out your arm and catch it down, as you go to pin it, it just kind of like splashes everywhere, and it's it's still there in various patches and puddles of this fluid, but there doesn't seem to be any more movement within it.
I think Dash would just start kind of scooping it up, like
It is
pulling
like
it
We'll
back into
run
a
over
puddle.
presenting the doll's head.
I'll get my knife and or my dagger and like scrape along the edge and like try to
it's like really gooey jello. Like
try
not
to
quite.
squeeze it into the doll's head.
And Dash would just kind of like puddle it all up and then just
You have a doll's
put the
head
squeeze on it.
full of boggle oil.
I really hope this was the boggle and we didn't just juice something for no reason. I say, holding the head so far away from me. Eyes face out.
Gross.
All right, let's find Squirt sooner rather than later, please.
I'll just
Yeah, I
yell
think
out.
Dash would then go back to looking at the pictures.
You gonna go for well, the pictures aren't quite in this room. You're still in
Oh,
the
it's the next.
little
Oh, it's the
tin
next.
soldiers. Well, it's still a couple of
gotcha.
rooms. Damn. You're close though, promise. Are we gonna push on through to the next room?
Look at everyone and I will lead. Just turn my back, keep going.
Okay. The rooms that you've been in this room before, and it is a long, thin hallway that has 3 cupboards on each side of the hallway, and there are traces of goopy black oil making its way down the carpet of this hallway.
I will aggressively open all 3 doors in succession, not even looking in, and then looking at the last one.
On both sides, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. There's various workshop supplies and boxes of junk, but inside one of them, the largest one in the center, is a absolutely massive, what looks to be like a silk cocoon. Like it runs the full length up and down of the cupboard.
I'm gonna poke it with the butt of my arrow. I'm still holding for no reason.
The fibers of it kind of sway, and taking a closer look at it, it looks like the front of it has ripped. but there's nothing inside of it. It's just kind of this empty husk of a cocoon.
Well, that's disconcerting.
I want to put the cocoon in
You're
my
welcome.
bag.
There isn't, I mean, it's like as big as you are. You could get it out and roll it up, but then I mean, yeah. You can totally get it down, fold it up, stick it in your bag if you want to.
Roll it like a sleeping bag.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay. Reaching in for it, and there's a and a big colony of moths just explode out of the cupboard and whirl around this central light in this hallway. But after catching you just for a momentary surprise, you take it down and roll it up and stick it in your bag. And you have a mess of silk cocoon.
Yes.
And it's like
I'm gonna
all
turn
over
to
your
Juniper.
hands now. And like sticking like you've walked through a spider web in the forest in the night, and it's just like the ones sticking on you. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's like that. You're welcome.
I'm gonna look at Juniper and say, "Do you like moths?"
She gives you a kind of confused look. You're
We
going
can
to
get back
push
to the
on?
woods soon. Just
Well,
gonna
you didn't like
glare
moths.
over my shoulder.
Maybe she can eat whatever came out of the cocoon. If we find it, which I hope we don't.
And barring that, maybe there's meat in the kitchen or something.
Is there some sort of trail coming from where the cocoon was to any direction?
That's what you can currently see. Okay, we gonna push on?
Yep.
There were just the cupboards in there, right? No doors or anything like that. Okay.
Yeah, just the cupboards that, all the cupboards, all 6 cupboards had doors on them, but Echo just walked down the hall, whipping them
Not
open.
like
as she
doors
went.
to rooms.
Right, correct.
Yes. I will move on. with it.
Okay. All right, you step into this room, and this is the familiar room with the paintings lining the walls. There are the 3 doors and a wood-carved staircase that ascends to a higher level. And the walls are like a tangle of tree roots and brambles, and it doesn't appear to be any sort of new growth in here. This is all kind of deadened and blackened as they grow over these portraits. There are 5 portraits in this room. 2 of them show creatures completely still, while the other 3 are animated.
I think Dash seeing them feels like a little bit of, I don't know if triumph is the word, but just completion that, okay, now this one seems to be not moving. And I think he's going to immediately like walk up to the wall. Does it look like, are the brambles like growing over the top of those 2 still pictures or just kind of up to them?
They are growing over all of the different portraits that are in here. It seems almost like the roots and the brambles hold the portraits to the wall.
Because Dash just really wants to pull the 2 down that are still and just pull them off the wall if possible.
Okay. You go to reach for one of the portraits, and I would like for you to make a dexterity saving throw, please, as one of the brambles launches itself at your hand.
14.
A 14. The bramble pierces your hand, and there is a quick little prick and a drawing of blood, and the portrait in front of you fades. It's almost like it washes from top to bottom, and it fades into a portrait of you. And then one of the other portraits becomes your mother, and then your father, and then your sister, and the other one goes completely blank.
Oh,
I think Dash is just going to walk into the kitchen and is not going to say anything. He's just going to leave this space.
Okay. You
I'm
make
just
your
gonna
way
kind of
through the door.
startlingly look at Ree.
I don't.
And
I
they
don't-
probably
Oh.
all they hear is like anything if he sees any kind of pans or any items that are loose in the kitchen. It's just the sound of all of those things like flying around the room.
So I'm
No.
concerned that I'm going to head on in.
No words, no nothing, just
Mash.
audible violence.
Who did the portrait? Who did the portrait land on? Of his family members? Are there multiple?
It was him, his mother, his father, and his sister. Of
Oh,
course, you
all of
wouldn't
them
really know that. It's just, you know that all of these figures appear that vaguely resemble Dash, one being much younger. And make an investigation check for me as you take a look around at those.
Okay.
What are the rest of you doing while this is happening? Hold off on your number for me.
I heard the commotion and I'm like going directly up to Dash to talk to him.
He is smashing a kitchen and paying you no attention. I assume.
Dash, what is going on with you?
No, nothing. Just
That's bullshit.
continuing. You actually know what this looks like because you've seen me do it once in real life.
I do.
Not my proudest day either. But
It happens. I've done it too. That's
We've all
bullshit.
smashed a kitchen at one point.
You gotta tell me what's going on. You gotta let it out. You gotta let go. You can't just hold it in.
I am letting it go, and I don't have to tell you anything.
I'm gonna shoulder past Indai. Agreed.
I'm gonna be like, whatever, man. But you can't act like this forever.
No, but I can act like this now.
I just walk away and start going up the stairs.
Upstairs?
Yep.
Okay. Almeric, what were you doing?
I was also heading into the kitchen and observing this whole exchange. I'm just going to see if I can find a place to sit down, and I'm just going to wait. Because Dash isn't hurting anybody. Clearly, he's not in a place to process verbally, so I'm just going to let him go, but I'm going to be here when he's done.
All right. As they all make their way past you, Ree, what was your investigation check?
16.
16. All right. Taking a look at the portraits. They're all animated. The father is sitting out at a potter's wheel. The mother is puttering around the kitchen. The daughter is standing quite still. She is animated. You can see her shoulders kind of rise and fall. And she has her head down. And as everybody moves past you, her head just kind of raises. And she looks through her bangs and makes eye contact with you, and her eyes flash a bright crimson red before settling back down.
Hello?
There's no response.
No response. Cool. A bright crimson red. Cool. And Dash's portrait was moving too.
Yes, Dash's portrait is very angry in the face right now.
Okay. Did her what was can I see any other kind of expression on her face when the eye this happened?
There wasn't really any expression, but there was just kind of a gleam, almost like a half smile
Mhm.
behind the eyes, but her face
Okay.
did not give it away.
Okay. I am what I really want to do is try and touch the portrait myself as well. And just see what happens.
All right. Make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Okay. Can I like purposely fail it?
Yeah, you can choose to
Okay.
fail it.
Because I want to scientifically see the reaction.
Okay. The bramble reaches out and pierces your hand. There is a small little prick of blood that runs down your palm. And you look back up to the portraits, and they have faded once again. The one immediately in front of you that was Dash's sister now becomes you. And the one that was his mother becomes your mother in the tavern at home, polishing glasses behind a bar. The two of them, the one that was blank continues to be blank, and the one that was Dash also turns blank. The third one almost seems like it's having trouble coalescing into an image. It flashes through face after face after face after face. A couple of them you recognize, one of them being the man who brought your friends back from the brink of death.
Mm-hmm.
One of them being your mentor that kind of taught you your magical basics when you were younger. One of them being a beautiful, dark-haired, sharp cheekboned, long-eared elf. And quite a few others that you don't recognize, but it seems like it can't quite settle into one certain image before it forms into a figure in a really nice suit with the face just kind of blurred.
Okay.
And it's almost like a smear of paint where his face should be.
Well, hey, that is certainly not what I was expecting. I will run from the room. I will run from the room, and I will also grab something and smash it from the kitchen. Just one thing, very weakly.
Grab a little plate and drop it, and it just slightly cracks down the middle of it. We'll go back to you, Dash. We'll let you lead this one.
It's just chaos to match the brain. And just continues to just kind of wreck shit until there's nothing of visible value. If it doesn't look like it's going to make noise or is going to explode on contact, he's not really interested in it. It's all just ventilation at this point. But I think once he clears everything that he can see, he's still like he's looking around and just kind of slumps down against one of the cabinets and just kind of curls up with his knees to his chest and just sits there just kind of clenching and unclenching his fists and just kind of ruminating in the fact that there's nothing left to break.
And I'm going to slowly approach, and if it doesn't trigger a massive response, I'm going to sit down calmly next to him, but I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to sit there being calm and patient.
I am going to leave the room.
Which way are you going?
Forward, the next.
Okay. And Inda, I think you said you were going upstairs.
Yeah, I'm going up the stairs.
Okay. We'll start with that one. All right. I think that's right. Yes. Up the stairs. All right. So you have been in this room before. This was the textile mill where you had seen the animated oversized doll that was holding Nox's son and another creature that you had eventually freed. This room looks in about the same state as well, but it does look like it has been tossed as kind of the other rooms before. There are various heaps of fabric and linens and threads just kind of all over the place. So it looks like this room has been whipped through very quickly.
Is
Bit of
there
chaos.
is there a needle in the mix? In any of that
You can make an investigation check.
stuff? Okay. That's 27.
27. You don't find any just kind of basic needles. It looks like a lot of that stuff has been spilled, just kind of all over the place. But you do find a really nice gold. It's called a bodkin. It's like a tapestry needle, so it has a really big eye, and it's meant for like hems and stuff. So you do find a gold bodkin in really nice shape. You find a small leather pouch that kind of jangles when you give it a little shake. And then there's a small little leather-bound book that's got some really delicate sketches and watercolor paintings of like pixies and sprites and other little fey creatures.
Do I recognize anything in the book at all?
I mean, you've seen a lot of these creatures, so you've seen pixies and sprites and red caps and
I
all
meant
of these
more
little things.
like facially recognize.
Oh, no, they're kind of abstract sketches. You can get the forms, but it's not of an exact creature that you've seen.
All right, I'll pocket, or I'll put it all in my bag,
Okay.
and I'll go ahead and grab one of the needles and as much thread as I can get as well.
There's a lot of thread, yeah. You get quite a few rolls of that.
Cool.
Okay. And then we'll go over to Echo, pushing through. You make your way into what you discern to be kind of the last room, moving through the depth of the tree. And it appears to be a study. There is a staircase that runs along the wall of this circular room and climbs to an upper level. There are numerous bookshelves tucked behind curtains of moss and ivy that have what appear to be absolutely ancient tomes. And built into one of the bookcases is a tall oval mirror in a wooden frame. There is flickering candlelight coming from the eye sockets of a human skull resting on a roll top desk.
I'm gonna look around at everything impassively, and I'm especially gonna look at the mirror.
The mirror looks a lot like the mirror that you guys picked up in Bavlorna's cottage, out on the lake. There are a lot of books, a lot of books, and there are a couple of things scattered about the top of that open roll-top desk as well.
When I look in the mirror, do I see myself as I am?
You do see yourself as you currently are.
Gonna turn away from the mirror and go to the desk.
Okay. There are a couple of things on top of the desk. There's a couple of quills, some ink. There's that human skull that looks like it's been fashioned into a lantern. And there is a rolled up wanted poster that has a sketch of Will of the Feywild with some script scrawled below it.
I'm gonna pick up the skull, and I'm gonna shout over my shoulder, "Bree, I found books for you."
Let's switch back to that room now in the kitchen, in the now destroyed, more destroyed kitchen.
I think after immediately, like as Amrik sat down next to Dash, I also sat down on his other side and just kind of sat quietly with a 1,000-yard stare. But when Echo shouts that, I'll like startle up and be like, "Oh, really? I did want to look for some of her stuff, but Dash first. That portrait is definitely just some kind of like first item or magical trick to make the person feel bad. I wouldn't put much store in it. It's weird." And looking at his hands, I'll very quickly take out my spell book and I will rip out a blank page and I'll say, whenever I used to get frustrated when I was learning magic, my mentor used to tell me to rip up a piece of paper if I didn't have any other way to get my feelings out. So I thought, I don't know, maybe that could help you. And I'll hand it to him and then stand up and walk quickly into the next room.
Okay.
I think I'm making my way back down the stairs and
Make
into
my
the
way.
same room as Echo.
Okay. And pass through the kitchen, past Dash and Almeric, and follow Ree into the study. Dash and Almeric?
I think Dash just takes the um, paper that Ree handed him, and he's still kind of clenching his fists, and he's kind of holding the paper in his astral hands, and he's just kind of staring at it. And like, I think Amrik would see that kind of because it's basically near the end of when his astral form would go away anyway. And so he's seeing him start his kind of flickering, his arms are starting to flicker and kind of goop in weird directions as if they're about to deanimate or whatever the aspect is of them leaving this realm. And you just see them flicker like between the kind of thorny, muddy, planty, kind of normal Gumby arms that he has. And it kind of flickers back and forth between like that heated basalt, hard, rugged, volcanic structure that they were when they were fighting Bavlorna. And it's just kind of flickering in all these different forms. And some is just like almost clear, like just cloud, vapor form. And then Dash like opens up his hands and takes it with his normal hands, and the astral form dissipates. And he's just kind of sitting there, staring at the paper. and starts to tear it and like, puts that top nick in it like it's starting, like getting ready to tear it. And he stops and he just says, "This is now twice I've seen her face in the last 12 hours, and neither of them have been good. But they're moving, and she's dead. She's gone. But they're moving, and everything that I know about this place tells me that it's a sign of something. And this place is a place of threes. I don't know what the third. I don't want to see her again. I want to see her again, but I can't see her again. I don't know what to do at this point. I've got no closure with anything, and I know that acting out doesn't fix it, but it does feel really good. But it doesn't fix it. And I've destroyed everything, but it didn't change anything. And I'm still here, and I'm still in pain. And I want to be out of this place. I want to be gone. And he's just going to kind of sit there, like trying to fight tearing the page and just kind of wobbling it back and forth, just disassociating with everything.
This is incredibly hard for you. And there are so many different types of pain that I can heal, and then there are the ones that I can't. And this is one that takes a long time to change, and it never goes away. This feeling of loss. That I have a feeling that if we go back out there and I try to do the same thing, I would see a similar picture myself. And that loss, that pain, it changes, it might dull, it might take time off, but it doesn't ever fully go away. And that's one of the hard parts of being here, is learning that we do lose people that we love. And especially to be in a place like this with all these cruel tricks that it plays, showing you a moving version of her, leaving you with that dread, that is the type of hurt this place causes in so many ways for so many people. And we cannot fully make the pain go away. We can learn how we endure it. We can give it space to change. We can give ourselves space to change around it, to accommodate it, to give it room so that we can be with it. I also want to take a moment to really appreciate that, as we were talking about not too long ago, when stone moves, there's a lot of energy there. And you picked a really good way to release that. Maybe not the perfect way to do it, maybe not, someone's ideal for it, but you didn't hurt anybody else. You didn't further the pain, you didn't inflict on anyone else. And that says something a lot about who you are as a person. And that's
Well, that's
something that we can celebrate about you, and it tells us that you are trying to find a way to be with this pain, and I have all the respect in the world for that.
Well, it's not your pain. There's no reason I should involve any of you guys in it. And it's not even the loss. I mean, I'm happy to even see a picture of her. I avoided any kind of images of her after she died. So it's good to see her again. But I don't know if it's the pain or the hope or the unknown that hurts the most. Is the magic that we're seeing true? Is she alive in some form? And I like pull out the little broken doll that was not my personal item, but the one that I found first, where her face appeared in it momentarily. And I just pull that out and look at it. Um, and I stare at it and I go, you know, what is life even on this side of the mirror? You know, I I honestly hope that maybe she is alive somewhere. But if she is she trapped like one of these kids that we've seen? Is she Has she been transformed? Is she a spirit trapped somewhere? Is she even my sister other than in spiritual connection? I I've dealt enough with out of body experiences to know that there's a shit ton of stuff that I have no concept of beyond my tiny little engagement with. And I know you have the spiritual side and the religious side of it. You have a God that you have interacted with. I don't have that, but I have what is the out of body soup that we're in? What is that external force or dimension that we're connected to but not interacting with on a regular basis? What is any of that, and why is this place so cruel? What's the point?
So I'll start by saying that, well, yes, I have a God, and that God helps me with doing that physical healing that I was talking about. What's really helped me with my deepest pains is not Ilmater himself, but the order that I'm a part of, the people that I've met along the way. That's how we figure out how to move forward. And so when you say you don't want us seeing that, I know how that feels. I have been there. And it's one of the hardest things to learn is that we don't have to go through it all alone, even when that's all we want to do. And so we find the people who we can trust to see that. For me, it was finding people who I could trust to take any of the pain that I thought followed in my wake and was haunting me and stalking me everywhere I went. So you are not alone, and you don't need a god to not be alone. You've got us, and we are here to help you with that in your own time. And you are right, this is a cruel place. But I'm thinking here about those little green shoots we saw by the bridge on our way here. And I'm thinking maybe it's not the place itself. It's people who chose to make it this way and chose to use power to taunt and curse and raise those types of questions, give that awful mixture of hope and uncertainty that you were talking about. They are the ones who did that, and we have an opportunity to
Crush them.
It won't be the crushing that will help. It will be creating the space for healing to happen. That can't happen while they're in power. They need to be removed from power. And so far, the only ways we found to do that have been violent, and I understand that that might be the way that all this ends, with more violence. But the violence,
one can hope.
Release is not what's going to make it better. What makes it better is getting the people who are causing pain away from the power they're using to cause it. And that creates a space for folks to heal as best they can, knowing that so many folks in this land are going to be spending a lot of time feeling versions of what you are feeling right now. And again, it's only by giving them the space to be together as people supporting each other that they're going to get through this. I'm thinking about our unicorn friend who we met, who was going through her own loss, and whose response to all this pain was to isolate herself, which she needed to do for safety because of what was going on. And I totally understand that. She needed to be alone and safe to keep the spark of hope alive. We're creating space for her to let those walls down and start rejoining everybody else here and start trying to help this place get back on its feet. That's ultimately going to do a lot more to make things better than being the one to smash somebody's face in. I say as somebody who just smashed somebody's face in. I will tell you, those green shoots gave me so much more joy than that brief moment of triumph in the violence, which I will not deny that I had. Those feelings that you're feeling, that you just took out on these pots and pans, I just took them out on Granny Nightshade. And I can tell you that that feeling of release was immediately undercut by not being able to save Little Oak. So I did not sleep easy last night. I will not be sleeping easy for a long time. What will help is making sure the last of these people is gone and these lands have a chance to heal and stop having things like those paintings out there. This is just one of so many things that we've seen where they've been spreading pain to other people.
Well, no matter what, and I do thank you for having the view of pain in hindsight. I will hope to grow to the point where I can see it in the rear view and not just see it in the foreground. And I think I will reach that point. But I really just want to get our friends their things and set this world on fire and get out. That's my feelings in the moment. But I appreciate you yet again counseling,
I
but
think
I'm
as
still very, very upset.
I think as they start to finish up their conversation, I like walk in and I've got black stuff all over my hands. And I come in and I'm like, and I start rubbing my eyes and then end up getting like black shit all over my eyes and my face. And then I'm like, guys, this stings. Can you guys, y'all got like a piece of cloth or something to get this stuff out of
Yeah.
my face?
Make a
The only
charisma
way,
saving throw, please.
Do what?
Make a charisma saving throw, please.
Oh, charisma. Okay.
He just wanted to help.
10.
A 10. Oh, man. Okay. So you go up to rub your eyes and begin like, oh, guys, it stings, right? And it's like your essence, what makes you you, is just ripped from your body, and you find yourself hurtling through the roof of Limlurch, through the tree canopy into the sky, leaving behind the clouds, the earth, until you are amongst the stars themselves. And it is absolutely everything that you can see. Blackness around you, and pivoting, you turn to look back at the world of Elithia, and you see sparks in various locations of bright, multicolored light. It's almost as if power lines are colliding and creating these huge sparks of energy that seem to leap off of the planet itself. And you turn and look behind you back into the inky blackness, and there is just a form, an amorphous form of nothing. No light, no sound, and you can feel a coldness grip your chest, and you feel your breath pick up as you are pulled in closer and closer, and the lights of the stars start going out around you one by one, until you are slammed back into your body and barely able to see your friends through the multicolored tears streaming down your face and washing away this goop.
Oh. Um,
Look at everybody's faces.
guys, I think I can do astral projection. I think I just learned this. What is this stuff? What just happened to me? I need
They don't know what
um
you're talking about because you've just walked in, asked for something to wipe your eyes, froze for about 20 seconds, and then came back in asking what happened to you.
all right, so I will relay that experience
It's fine.
and ask somebody to cast detect magic on me.
In the meantime, I'm gonna switch over to Echo and Bree in the study. What would the two of you like to be doing?
Ah, well, books. I walk
Books?
I walk very briskly in, and I'm like, you said there are books?
Yes, there's a lot
Vaguely
of books
gesture
there.
around.
Floor to ceiling bookshelves all the way around this round room.
Finally. All right, great. And I very methodically begin I go up to the bookshelf and just very methodically begin like searching through things, like looking for specific. I want to do like an investigation check or something like that.
What you looking for?
I'm looking very specific. I'm looking for two things. I'm looking
Okay.
for things around like the League of Malevolence.
Okay.
And in particular, anything that mentions, I guess I'm looking for a lot of things. The Big Book of Bad Blood, the name Count Strahd von Zarich, or anything that has to do with that ritual that they were talking about with the unicorn horn and the cauldron, and that they killed the other unicorn for.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, and I think that's a lot, so I think I'll leave it at that.
And while Ree is
Okay.
doing this, I'm carrying the skull up, walking up those stairs. Occasionally just looking at a book, wiping some dust off.
Excellent. All right. Echo, every time you run your finger down a spine of the book, there is a faint kind of croaking sound. And you hear some sort of language, like whispered from the book itself, but you don't understand what it's saying. Bree, what was your investigation check? Did I ask you to roll
Oh, I
that?
didn't.
Roll
I
an
didn't.
investigation check.
Roll one.
What's shit going on?
Which one of you feels good to stay? Oh, great. Investigation, that's going to be a 25.
25, damn.
Love it.
All right. So you do, there's not really a ton that relates directly to what you're looking for. There
Mhm.
are absolutely hundreds of scrolls on the shelves. A lot of them describe like encounters with like different individuals who have struck bargains with Granny
Okay.
Scabatha Nightshade,
Mhm.
and the absolutely horrible curses that she put on them when they inevitably failed to uphold their end of the
Mhm.
bargain. And then there's just quite a few like interesting different books. There's puzzles and riddle books, there's illustrated books, there's children's books, there's one that really catches your attention. It's a series of books called Tales from the Gloaming Court. And they look like absolutely beautiful elven green covered illustrated books. And it's about the Seelie and Unseelie courts, but you'd notice that volumes 3 and 8 are missing
Mhm.
from the series.
Okay.
And then kind of perusing, because you can't take hours and hours and hours to look through every single book. You do find like a vaguely familiar crest that you have seen in the Big Book of Bad Blood, and it
Mhm.
is on the spine of a book called 3 Rules to Rule By.
Okay. 3 rules to rule by.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of books in here. It really depends on how much time you're going to take to start digging through them.
Yeah. I mean, I'll take as much time as they let me. Um, if you said tales of people she struck bargains with, if I
Mhm,
do have the time, can I
mhm.
did I see anything with Will of the Feywild?
So there are literally hundreds of these scrolls. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of them. You can make a really high let's just
They're
do a
not
straight
labeled?
intelligence.
There's no Dewey Decimal System?
No, unfortunately, they are not organized in a manner that you are familiar with.
Unfortunate. Always a waste of always a waste to see an unorganized library. How are you ever supposed to find anything? I just say to myself.
They are talking to you, aren't they?
Are they?
News to you.
I don't think so. No. Are you okay?
Yeah. Gonna
Well-
keep going up the stairs.
Well, what did they say? Okay.
They're just reading various titles to you. There's all things sticky, slippery, and sweet. There is nope, you don't understand what they're saying, so it doesn't matter what they're saying to you. So
Okay.
you don't know. Bree would know,
Cool.
but she can't hear it. I imagine this is when you guys are coming to the end of your out-of-body astral experience in the kitchen.
Yeah. I have rainbow tears.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. so I'm
I mean,
gonna head
it's not.
over
I say rainbow tears. It's like
Like, is this a
iridescent.
visual thing?
Yeah, it's not like actual Pop-Tart cat rainbows coming. It's like an iridescence that reflects different colors depending on the way you're looking at it.
Okay, I get it. Okay, so yes, I relay this little tidbit of information to Dash and Omric since they're there, and just say, okay, seriously, do you guys have a cloth that I can clean my face with? And then I will tell you what happened to me.
I'm sure you can find one amongst the kitchen.
Hey, Dash stands up and puts his hands on either side of your face, and he's just like, "We know that the only way that we can capture this is by squeezing it out. So hold still." And just start lightly squeezing the side of your face.
I start screaming and say, "Stop! No, I don't mean that. Get off!"
All right,
Go
I'm gonna
Dash
come
could just
over
let him
and
go.
gently
Furniture,
try to
would
pry
ya?
Dash's hands off of Indai's face. Look for a towel or washcloth. This is a kitchen. I feel like there's probably something around that we can use to help with
you
that.
can find one pretty easily. Yeah.
I'm gonna do a quick lay on hands. I don't even know if I even need to burn a hit point to try to help relieve the stinging sensation. I'll leave that up to you, DM.
You try, but the stinging remains.
Okay.
The physical aspect of it is gone.
Okay.
Your eyes still burn.
And then I'm as requested, I'm going to cast Detect Magic and see if I can figure out what the heck's going on here.
It is boggle oil. Freshly squeezed
Dash?
boggle oil.
Freshly squeezed.
Yummy, yummy.
Why don't you go break some kitchen furniture or something? Leave my
What?
head out of this.
Dash reaches back up and grabs his head again. Hold still, we're fixing you. And starts to apply pressure again.
It's like two stones on either side of your face.
I'll take my ears and like cover his head up with my ears as he does this.
And I'm like, oh, well, we could have just used these. And I just grab him and softly like wipe his across his eyes with his ears.
Just used these.
Your eyes are now cleared. They still
And
burn though.
then I shake my ears and it just splatters
Splatters about, yes.
boggle oil everywhere. All right, and then I'll just leave and don't say thank you or anything. I just walk away. And
You're walking into the study.
and going into the study where Echo and Ree are.
Okay. Almeric and Dash, do you follow? All right. You all regroup in the study. What'd you like to do, friends? Moving on in the day now. It's probably about noon. 1.
I have a stack of books, mainly the ones you mentioned, the 3 rules to rule by, and then all of the volumes of Tales from the Gloaming Court. And I look at
3
and
and
I
8.
say, what? Except for 3 and 8, yes.
3 and 8 are missing.
And I say, how many can I take? How many do we have space for?
I'll just open up my bag and go, I don't know, but you can put it in here.
Wonderful. Okay, great. I'll put them all in, but keep personally just the crest for the 3 rules to rule by first for myself.
Okay. Can you send me a list of the books that you put in there?
Yes.
I'll send you both a list of the books that you got.
Okay.
That got
Yes,
put
I will.
in
I will
there.
message them to you.
I have more. If you're
Mhm.
just chucking books in there, I'll chuck you a few more.
Cool. I want to check out the desk that you were talking about.
Okay. There is the quills and the ink and the various little things on the top of the desk, along with the wanted poster of Will of the Feywild. But there are a couple of drawers that are unopened, and there are a couple of little smaller cabinet doors on the bottom of the desk as well.
I instantly start flinging open everything, looking through it.
Okay, you can make an investigation check for me, please.
Okay. Like those. 19.
19. Okay. You find a couple of cool little things in there. There is a varnished human eyeball that's inside the lower half of a small hourglass that hangs kind of like a pendant from a necklace that seems to be made out of, I don't know, probably like some sort of hair or fur. There is a black feathered quill with a bone tip. And there is a teeny tiny little clockwork toad.
I want to pick up the clockwork toad immediately.
Cool. It's cute.
Yeah. And
There's a little twisty thing on the underside of its stomach.
I just start twisting it.
Okay.
I'm holding it.
Okay. It begins to make a series of little clicks before it like leaps out of your hand. And then it just starts spinning in a little circle before it stops and lets out a really loud croak. Probably hear it a good ways down the hallway that you just came from.
Cool.
Very
I'm gonna put
loud.
all that stuff in my bag.
You've got stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bree, that quill really catches
gonna
your
use it.
attention. Very well made.
Mine.
Internet was cutting out just a little bit, so can you remind me of the quill? Or
Yep,
tell
we
me.
lost you too. Yeah, it's a black feathered quill that has a bone tip on it.
Oh, and can I have the quill?
I mean, do you want to trade?
Reciprocity.
Sure. Because you can. Sure, we can trade for it.
I'm
What
just
do you?
kidding. Here you go.
Okay, thank you.
I get it.
I'll,
You feel the magic all over it, Ree.
Oh, very cool. Oh, thank you so much. And I promise the second I find anything cool, I will give it to you. You don't want a book, do you?
I already have all your books, so
Okay.
except for like those two.
Well, your whole okay, that's true.
But yeah, I don't really read much. I can read. No, it's fine. I can read, but I just can't read a lot. Or I don't read a lot is what I meant. But yes, you can have the books. If you find something cool like maybe a new hat. I've been looking for a new hat. Yeah.
Okay, great. I will look out for hats. But in the meantime, I'll just just minor illusion a cool hat onto his head.
Hey.
It's not,
Oh,
you can't keep that. It will disappear, but I can do it as often as you want.
I've just kind of been really jealous of Juniper, and so I just thought maybe I should get a hat like Juniper's, and maybe we could match. That would be cool. And then Echo
I
would like me
shift
better.
the minor illusion so that it matches Juniper's hat. It's like a coordinating color. What's your favorite color, Indai?
Purple.
It's purple now. I make it purple. Like a deep royal
Purple witch
eggplant
hat
purple.
with a little swirly bit on the top.
I'll walk immediately over to Echo and be like, "Do you like my purple hat, Echo?"
Your
It
hand goes
isn't
through it.
real. Do any of the books that I touched seem like louder than any of the others?
No, they're all pretty even keel.
And is there anything up now that I'm up? It's just more books.
Yeah, just more books all the way to the ceiling. It's
Well, I'm gonna grab
a lot of books.
one that was talking to me and just throw it down. This one was talking. And then start to go down the stairs. Still carrying that skull and my arrow.
It's a good skull. You notice now that you've had it for a little bit that although it's like little candles in the eyes of the skull, that they have not lost any wax. Candles are still the same size.
Cool.
So Echo mentioned that the book was talking, right?
I believe so.
Indeed.
Yep. And I'd cast detect magic back in the other room, which I think stays with me.
Yes.
Am I able to tell anything in particular about the theoretically talking book?
Fuck yeah. They're all magic, like super magic. Get the sense of abjuration magic.
This seems unusual. I'm just gonna hold it out in front of the skull.
Oh, sure. I'll take a look at it. I probably need to take a look at several things in here.
Well, Almerx is still going, so he could probably like interrupt and tell you that it is magical lantern abjuration magic.
Abjuration magic all over this place, including
All over the damn place.
What does abjuration magic mean again? Is that protection?
Oh, let me read it to you so I don't mess up wording. 5e. Sure. It encompasses protective spells.
Okay. Cool.
Um, so knowing Granny Nightshade being who she is, or was, are we at all worried about what the protection magic on the books might do to our, because we've got some in the bag now, right? Are we worried about what's going to happen to everything else in the bag or the bag itself?
I guess I should say that it's not, and I'll take this out later, but it's not necessarily all protection. It's like it creates physical or magical barriers. It negates magic or physical ability. It like warns of trespassers, or it can banish the target. It's like anything you can do that will negate another person's ability, and that's considered abjuration magic as well.
With that in mind, does it, and you mentioned that the majority of the library was like her curses, tales of the deal she made and her curses. Would I, with my knowledge, be able to like assume that that's probably what it is, that it's like protecting or sealing those curses and like preventing other people from, I don't know, breaking them or has something to do with that?
Yeah, you can make an Arcana check.
Okay.
As she's doing it, am I able to tell if if you're willing to tell me like this is what you're doing? Am I able to like look at a tome and look at a book, or look at a curse scroll or whatever the heck it is, and look at a book and see if there's a difference to help her out?
You guys have been talking about it, because you were just asking, and I'm sure that she's spitballing.
Absolutely talking out loud. Everything I just said, verbal, just like staring off into space thinking.
So I'm doing everything to help this Arcana check.
Okay, great.
Okay.
So first roll was an 18. So I'm doing it with advantage then?
Yes.
Okay, first roll was an 18 already. So let's see.
Nice. Always
Oh, and a crit! And that 20.
Yay!
Becomes a 27.
Yes.
Yeah, you definitely get the idea that this kind of abjuration magic is sealing these deals. And you're not sure why the books themselves are abjuration, but with a nat 20 you can put together the idea that Echo has been doing something to make these books talk. You don't know what it is, but they are hearing something when they handle these books in a certain manner. And you can also get the vague idea that it might be some sort of magic placed on the books to help identify them at a touch.
Ooh, very cool. Okay. Explain all of that about the like protection portion and say I don't think that we have to worry about bringing them with us. Echo, what were you doing to the books to make them talk?
Wiping dust off of them like this.
Yes. I'll do that to anyone that's around me.
All right, you reach out and run your finger down one of the spines, and it speaks to you in Elfish, in Sylvan, and it says, Phantasma Dementos, Codicil of Conundrums.
Oh, that's very cool. Very interesting. All right. Do I think that this will help me identify things quicker, or is it just such a massive library that it would just still take?
I mean, it's massive. It's still going to take you a bit to go through on all of them, but you might be able to go a little more quickly.
Okay. Well,
I've
that
explored the upper level, walked down, shown the skull. I'm gonna grab the nearest book and chuck it at the mirror.
Okay, it bounces off of the mirror.
Are we done?
Is there another room beyond this room?
There is no further door out of this room. Nope. There is the staircase that's going up, though.
Okay, I'm gonna go up the staircase.
Okay.
It's
Everybody
more
else?
books. I was
It
already
does
up there.
lead you to many more books on the upper level of the room.
I'll check. I haven't checked out the upper level books. I'll go up with Endai.
It
There's a
seems
whole
like
bunch
we're
of
gonna be a
books.
while. I'm gonna head to the kitchen and see if we can find some meat for Juniper
I
or
will
other
follow.
snacks for the rest of us.
What was that, Echo?
I will follow.
You have to go with Almec back to the kitchen, Indai and Ree to the upper level. Dash.
I mean, Dash is still kind of looking around, trying to see if he can find our oil can friend.
Okay. All right. Indai and Ree, you all make your way to the upper level of books and look around. Dash, following the trail of little oil droplets, which are getting smaller and smaller and smaller as you progress. They also make their way up the stairs. So you follow behind Indai and Ree, and you make it about halfway around the room, and the trail of drops stop.
Where do the drops stop
Just
specifically?
right in front of a bookshelf.
And I want to like push or something where the inky drops are.
Whole bunch of books. Feels like books. Feels like a bookshelf.
Can I try like essentially like pulling out books in a like secret trap doorway? Like if you pull one and it looks, or maybe can I look first to see if any of them look different than the others in that
Sure.
particular shelf?
Make an investigation check.
I'd like to help with that.
Thank you. Oh, thank you, because that one was a 2 and that one was a 4, so it's an 11.
You don't feel anything on the books. No, you try sliding a few of them out and it just seem like books. A couple interesting ones.
You run a finger down one of the spines that says secret door handle.
That's the hope.
Secret door.
I think I just get pretty angry and start just pulling all of the books out of the shelves.
Okay. It takes you a minute, but you get all the books off the shelf.
Yeah,
All of them?
All of them, yeah. Mhm.
yeah, just
I mean, it's not all the way around. It's just a section
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that's
of the
where the
bookshelf,
oil
maybe 4
was.
feet or so.
yeah, where the oil was. The drops.
what are you doing?
Well, the oil stopped somewhere around here, so that means that it's here, right?
Yes, but you don't have to destroy the books for it. I'm picking them up and like putting them back.
They're not destroyed, they're on the floor.
They do not. You shouldn't throw them on the floor. Enda, you're very strong. You need to be careful with them.
I'll start helping her pick them up. Be like, oh, sorry.
It's okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's very.
Everybody's
we-
mad at me. I didn't do
No.
anything.
It's not you. It's just we finally found a library. I'm very excited. We've been in a lot of trees, and I finally feel very comfortable. And I just want to make sure we don't miss anything.
Well, you didn't want these books, right?
I mean, I'd take probably any of them, but no, I don't want. We can't put all of them in the bag reasonably. So no, I don't want them.
Can we?
There's got to be a limit somewhere.
I'm just
I mean,
saying.
there's an entire standing mirror in there. You would think eventually it would get full.
We could put the other mirror in the bag.
I
No.
Certainly
I
can.
think I think one mirror is enough.
Yeah. I don't really need more than one mirror.
No, me either.
All right, we'll switch over to Ulbrich and Echo in the kitchen. You're looking around for meat?
Yep. And as we do detect magic, I think it's still active. So on the off chance there's anything fun magical going on, hopefully we're picking up on that too.
All right, make an investigation check, friends.
I'll help you.
Sounds good.
Help away.
All right. Roll 1 is a 17. Roll 2 is a 19.
All right, very good. You do find a couple of like salted, preserved haunches in one of the larger standing cabinets in here. You're not exactly sure what kind of creature it's from, but they're pretty decent little size. And then on top of that, you find a little like a small wooden box that's all moldy and kind of, you know, when wood gets saturated and it gets that kind of soft, spongy kind of texture. It's kind of like that. And it is labeled mushrooms. And inside of it are 3 like dried and shriveled mushrooms.
Do not show that to Indai.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass that over to Echo and say, I don't know mushrooms super well. Do you recognize these at all? They seem like they might be a forest thing.
Do I recognize?
You can make a nature check.
Well, that happens. It's sad that Reed did not get to roll as if she was on favored terrain well in the library.
Wait, do I still get? 9, 14.
They're similar to mushrooms that you've seen, and you've seen them in various places here in the Feywild. 2 of them are kind of almost like a trumpet-shaped kind of vibrant yellow. And then one of them is... It almost has like a double cap on it. So it goes up the stem in a small cap, and then there's a stem and a large cap, and it's got like purple and red kind of pointed peaks coming out of the mushroom cap. You're not familiar with them exactly, but you know that you have seen them here in this forest.
We'll say all of that to Amrik. And then I will take the box and put it in my chest cavity, slam the door.
With that, shall we feed Juniper a salty haunch?
Would you like that, Juniper?
Yeah, she's already like plopped down like a dog at Omric's feet, like tongue lolling out of the side of her mouth, slightly drooling and panting, looking up at you with big eyes.
Well, here you go.
It is gone in one bite. Like, she gets very close to your fingers, like uncomfortably close. And you hear just a cracking of that bone. And just a few chomps, and she swallows, and the tongue falls back out. She grins up at you.
Glad you appreciated that. I spent a good couple weeks drinking at a place called the Salty Haunch once. Brings back not fond memories, but certainly vivid ones. Up to a point, then they get blurry.
I've never had the capacity to get drunk. Poisons don't have a lot of effect on me.
It loses its luster eventually.
I'm gonna take the other haunch and yell to Indai. Indai, put this in your bag.
I think we're finally finishing getting the books put away and heading back into the kitchen to where everybody else is. Okay, I just like come with it open, holding it, for whatever needs to go in.
Just gonna drop it in and immediately walk out of the kitchen.
Yeah,
Is
I
there-
think Dash is still on the staircase, kind of going up and down, just at this point, just calling out like, fresh pressed boggle oil, get your boggle oil here. Anybody with a need for boggle oil?
Make a perception check for me.
Can I
Hey, man,
help
don't
him?
put that stuff in your eyes.
I'll just like minor illusion like a carnival barker's top hat onto him and give him help.
It does not give you advantage.
No, 15.
Can I still help him?
Not really with this because he's listening
Okay.
for them. But
Okay, well, 15 was the first roll anyway, so.
at 15, okay. As you're moving back and forth, while Ree and Indai are picking up the books, from behind that bookshelf, you just hear a couple of soft little clangs.
I think that when he hears that, he goes, guys, I hear something. Take a step back.
I'll step back.
Me too.
And Dash literally just like grabs the section of shelves and tries to just like rip them off.
Make a strength check for me, please.
Like right as the last book is like going back on the shelf.
I'm just going, dude.
It's only a 13.
Oh, 13. You go to like almost attempt to rip it from the wall, and it kind of catches, but you hear kind of a click of something. And you look back, and there's a portion of the shelf that is just slightly snapped downwards.
Well, maybe this is something, and just kind of. Hey, Ree, does this look? Does this look like a lever or something? I don't know. I'm. Bookshelves aren't supposed to fold like this.
No, most don't. I've seen a couple, but I've been in weird libraries. I'll like pull it or push it or just try and move the
Okay.
broken section.
You flip it downward on its hinges now, and the bookshelf gives a secondary click, and half of it just detaches from the wall and swings open in front of you. And let's take a quick break now that you've busted into somewhere.
I told you.
You did. All right, let's take a quick break. Go do your things, and we'll be back in just a couple of minutes.
Woohoo!
Okay, we're back. Let's jump back in, my friends. So, you guys have now been searching the interior of Lurch, and you have just discovered a hidden doorway in the upper level of a bookshelf and opened it up. Inside is a flight of stairs that goes even higher.
Oh,
Dash,
I love
Indai,
secret.
and you're there, yes.
I love secret passageways.
Let's go.
Dash will just
I
yell,
think Dash should
more
go first.
more stairs. And it just starts.
Echo and Umric, you hear him yelling in the kitchen.
And I, with my short legs and heavy armor, sigh and trudge back into the study.
All right, the first three of you progress up the stairway as well. Echo and Umric, you make your way back into the study. Climbing the stairs, you all finally reach the tops of them, and everything about this bedroom is orderly. From the bed with the patchwork quilt to like the little ceramic ornamental pigs that are arranged on a neat row on the dresser. The tidiness is at odds, however, with the decaying dollhouse sitting on the bedside table. This 3 foot tall edifice has definitely seen better days and is now covered with peeling paint and mold and rot. Behind the dollhouse, next to the window, moths flutter around inside a large bell jar. And facing one another along the outer wall are a pair of doors. Next to the door closest to the staircase is a wooden rocking cradle with a neatly folded blanket in it.
Dash just kind of still keeps doing his carnival barker presentation of the potential for boggle oil, and just kind of investigates around the room,
Okay.
just looking around.
Following it up, which is what drew
Nothing that
your
was called
attention.
out. Nothing that was called out really super. Like, he's kind of still kind of one track mind right now, so he's not open to a whole lot really.
Okay. Well, knowing that this sound is what drew you into this room to begin with, you hear an ever quieter little squeaking sound, and you follow just a couple little droplets of oil to underneath the side table that the dollhouse is sitting on. And looking underneath it, you see a little oil can on its side with just a couple little drips of oil falling from its spout.
I think Dash would just kind of, hey Ree, do you have your creepy doll head full of oil?
Yes, I guess I've just been holding it, or like I put it down and I brought it with me. Oh yes, yeah. Here, and I'll give it to Dash.
I think Dash would just kind of like set it, kind of underneath the edge of the uh, bedside table, but he would just set it there and, kind of back off a little bit and not trying to like make any moves towards him or anything. He's just putting it there, and just says, "Hey, we brought what you were looking for."
Okay. It takes a moment, but then you hear a little sliding sound. And then another. And you see the tip of the spout of the oil can kind of sneak out from under, and the oil can kind of flops itself into the little doll's head of boggle oil. And it almost Fantasia like kind of creates its little bubbles in the stem as it sucks up the oil from the head, and it gives a little like twirl, and then it just kind of lands upright, and it looks at you guys and it goes, much better. This is great. How's it going? You guys doing okay?
Yeah, unfortunately, we only found the one to get you this
Yeah.
amount.
This is great. I feel awesome.
Well, when did you head back down here?
Oh, when a fire erupted everywhere.
Okay.
It was really scary. Came out of nowhere.
So does this oil do to you the same thing that it does to me?
What are you talking about?
Well, I got some in my eyes and I went,
Probably hurt.
it did, it stung.
Yeah.
But I went to like another dimension and there was
You went
blackness.
to a what?
another dimension. I'm telling you, another dimension.
What,
And
like hither
I saw
or
like
yon?
no, no, I don't even know, but it was like I saw all of Elithia, and there were
What's that?
multicolored sparks of light, and then I turned around and there was like this like black amorphous being behind me that had no shape, but I knew it was there. And then I came down and
You sure that was boggle oil?
yeah,
Did you find more mushrooms?
no,
That sounds
you
more
found
accurate. Yeah.
you found the mushrooms.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's the mushrooms talking.
Anyway, so what's up with this dollhouse thing?
I don't know. Super creepy though.
I would like to investigate it.
Okay. Make an investigation check.
Ooh, that's a nat 20 makes 30.
30. 20 makes 30. Jesus.
What?
There right? There is a couple of hinged places on this dollhouse. You know, it's not like a dollhouse that's like half of it is open in the back, like the whole thing is encapsulated. And you find a couple of hinged places, maybe where the roof would open and then the front would swing open or something along those lines. But you go to open it and it just does not budge at all.
Is the doll's head empty?
The
Has he
doll's head
drawn oil
is
from it?
mostly empty. There's a couple little drops inside of it, but not much at all.
I'm gonna pick it up. I'll like shake the little drops out as much as I can for the dude, and then I'm gonna place it the head in the doll's house and say, I think you belong here, and I'll a very gentle pat on the head.
You can set it on top of it. You can't quite put it in there because the whole
Oh
thing is
no.
closed and locked, but you can set it on top of it.
Okay.
Is there a way to physically unlock this dollhouse?
Not that you can see.
Is there Ree or Omric, is there a magical way to unlock this dollhouse?
Amric has a warhammer.
Do it.
That's pretty magical. Well, down for that. But first, is there any do you see any writing on it, Endai, or anything like that?
You did not.
No. No, sorry.
Okay. I'll go over to the cradle.
Okay. The cradle is painted with images of like little green dragons, and it just has a folded little threadbare blue blanket on it.
Aww. Can I like pick up the blanket, see if there's anything in there?
It's just you can tell that it's got some age and it's been used a lot. So it has some patches where one good yank could bring it apart.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
What
well,
is this stuff?
this. Well, I think this is for the little dragon we saw, the cradle fall, and it would be cute if he weren't murderous. The doll's house.
Did we
I
get
have
a
no
big
idea.
one for Jupiter?
I think we
Maybe. I
could
don't
put
know
that
how
on the
big.
goal on our goal list.
Yeah, we could take the mattress.
It seems too small.
True.
I will accept this mission.
What would you like to do, friends?
Okay, Squirt, we got you
Yeah.
your oil.
Yeah, I feel
So-
awesome.
There any other doors in this room?
There are not.
Can we complete our bargain?
I take that back. There is another door on this room.
I would like to go through the door. If there is a door.
There is a door. What would the rest of you like to do?
If Andi's wandering towards a random door, I'm following along close behind.
Random doors.
Is it locked?
There might be a chair on the other side of it. Who knows?
It is not locked.
Oh.
I want to rub the mattress against Juniper's neck.
The little baby cradle mattress. You get kind of the side of her face. Like half of it. She's big. It's real small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like this?
She just turns and looks at it and gives it a couple of sniffs. And her lip kind of curls up a little bit and her nostrils flare. And she doesn't have a lip, she has a beak. Her beak kind of curls up into a grimace. And her little nostrils flare and she just kind of backs away from it.
I'll drop it back into the cradle. I will follow.
Anybody else we're going through as well? We're all just following.
I'll stay and look at the doll's house. I'll go back to looking at the doll's house.
Cool.
Yeah, and Dash is just talking with the oil can.
All right. Well, we'll start with Diane, Echo, and Amrik walking through a random door. There are old, empty bird houses nailed to the walls in this cramped room, and probably a dozen bird cages hanging from the ceiling. The cages are filled with tiny clockwork sparrows. As the bird's gears turn, the air thrums with a rhythmic ticking. There are paper and quills heaped on a small writing desk under the cages, and a pair of open windows look out into the forest beyond. Carved into the wall above one window is the word Thither, and above the other is yawn.
Oh. I would like to walk up to the nearest clockwork bird and check him out.
Does a couple little hops with some wing flaps and lets out a little mechanical sounding chirp as it looks at you.
And
Pops
it's in
head
a
to one
cage.
side. It is.
Can I pull the cage down and hold it?
You sure can. It sits on its little perch inside the cage.
Like a Tweety bird.
Given who is the likely creator of these, I'm going to recommend caution and maybe more of a look but don't touch, or if we touch, stay on the other side of the cage approach.
Or you could free them.
I say, what's your name, little bird?
It just cocks its little head and chirps at you. And like a slow motion, it chirps and its little foot raises up to 90 degrees, and you see some sort of writing on the bottom of its foot, but you don't know what it says.
Oh. Bree, what does this say?
Rhea is not with you.
Oh. Bree, where are you?
Coming, I guess.
You go over to take a little look at the birds, and it says glyph on the bottom of its foot. Glyff.
Glyph. That's his name.
That's
It
his
just
name?
chirps, and its leg like whirs back into place.
Hello, Glyph.
Chirps.
I really want to keep the bird.
Sure.
I think it's
You
cool.
could ask it first.
Can I keep you, little bird? Glyph? Can I keep you, Glyph?
It chirps at you. The same pitch every single time. Same pitch, same tone.
What is it called when there's a it's like on top of a building and it's like homing pigeons are stirring around in there.
A coop?
Coop? Coop?
Yeah.
Like a pigeon.
A bird coop? Pigeon coop, yeah.
I don't think that's the word, but that's okay.
Or a roost.
matter.
Little
You
box.
thinking of a roost?
Little roost box.
I think I'm gonna keep the bird. I'm gonna put the bird in my bag. Inside the cage. The cage, bird, everything. Just in the bag. Zip it up.
One mechanical bird in a cage. Named Glyph. And there are dozens and dozens of cages in here with dozens and dozens of mechanical sparrows inside of them.
This is my bird. His name is Glyph. There are many like him. This one is mine.
Can I look at like another one and see if their name is also Glyph? Like, are they all named Glyph?
One of the other one just kind of tilts its head and chirps at you.
When I say Glyph,
Raises its little foot up, and it says Pim.
Oh, okay. I think there really is only one Glyph. He's very special, and I
knew it. He's a homing
I'm
pigeon.
gonna check out the writing desk. I remain suspicious of these birds, and I want to see if there's anything on the writing desk that will help me learn more about them.
Absolutely. There. Okay, so the writing desk contains 3 letters. 2 of them are from Bavlorna, and one of them is from Endelin. You're going to look them over and read them?
Take them.
Yes. All right. One of them says, Sister, I don't have Elidon's horn. If I did, I would use it to free Bloody Beak and send it after the Jabberwock that lairs in the palace and hunts in your forest. No matter what Endelin says, that burbling beast of a dragon is a threat to our coven and our 3 realms. How Zybilna managed to befriend it, I'll never know. Maybe we should ask her. Ha ha. Much love, Lorna. The second one says, Lovely Scab, the last time I saw the unicorn horn, it was in your possession. Pity you lost it. But fret not, I have gazed into the orrery of tragedies, and it has revealed to me that Elidon's heart will be found. If worst comes to worst, recall that Elidon's, I've been saying it all wrong the whole time. Elidon's mate still dwells in your forest. You could kill Lamorna and take her horn, assuming, of course, you're not too busy making toys. Your darling sister, End. And the third one says, Dear sister, there's no use asking Endlin if she has the horn. She doesn't tell us anything. But if we don't find it soon, I fear what the Jabberwock will do after it gets tired of prowling the forest and turns its fiery gaze elsewhere. God's bodkins, that thing gives me nightmares. Must I remind you that we need a unicorn's horn to free creatures from the cauldron's time-freezing magic? It's not enough to know their true names, you know. Of course, my greater concern is that someone else finds the horn and uses it for exactly that purpose. What do you think Zybilna will do to us if she's no longer bound by her cauldron's magic? Your beloved sister, Lorna.
Ooh. Hmm.
Letters and Birds.
Letters and birds.
That's the title of this episode.
So these birds brought these letters from somewhere, from hither and yon.
There are doors to hither and yon here.
You think that's a wise guess?
Not many people to send them to now.
No, no, not really. Do we think that do we think Scabatha has the horn? No, probably not, right?
No.
These don't seem to suggest that she does, or she doesn't know where she had it.
I say we go to yon and find out if or see if we can find Elidon.
Elidon is the other unicorn, Lamorna's mate.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And Endolin is the other sister. Just for my brain. Okay, great.
Elidon Indolin. Elidon Indolin. Say that 5 times fast.
I know, right?
No.
No.
And the orrery of tragedies and the cauldron that has time freezing magic and the
Yes.
Jabberwock.
Yes. And Bloodied Beak, whoever that is. I certainly do
Bloody
not
Beak.
like the sound of him.
The dragon. Maybe that's the dragon that the thing that we fought in the forest.
Possibly. I think that Bloody Beak needs to be freed. So unless he has been freed. I think that no, I lost my train of thought. Sorry.
Happens.
Ain't no stopping this train we're on. Let's go.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. I think the cauldron is the ritual that I read about in the big book of Bad Blood. They need the unicorn's horn and a cauldron and these very powerful artifacts to cast a very powerful time stop spell. So it
What
feels
kind of
right that
cauldron?
just it doesn't specify any particular type of cauldron. I just given the power of what the spell alluded to, it would have to be something a very powerful artifact. So if it belonged to Zybilna, as I think they suggest, I'm assuming that would have been a very powerful artifact.
Well, we have already encountered a very unusual cauldron.
Yes.
Together.
Yes, we did. And we shall speak no more of it.
I don't think I think I was off somewhere else during that time. I don't remember the cauldron.
I think
Yes,
It was not our most glorious hour.
what was
Or-
that
in the
about your luck?
past. We got to get Squirt to help us go to the next place. He said he'd take us to Jan. Is that right?
Throw something through the
told you.
door, see what happens.
I'll reach in my bag and I'll grab a book and like.
Which one?
We'll roll for it.
Anyone but the specific ones I gave you, but he's an elf. I want to read that one first. My light reading.
Fine. I just grab anything, just anything, and I throw it out the window.
All right. We'll talk about what it was later on when I look at your
You can
inventory.
throw a book, just not the like specific ones that I pulled or
No, like anything in the room, not in my bag.
Okay. You can grab something off of the desk and chuck it out the window, and it falls down somewhere below you.
Okay, guys,
Hello,
it's time to
JJ.
ask Squirt for help.
Speaking of, let's go back to Dash, who's been in the other room this whole time. What would you like to be doing, Dash?
I was just talking to Squirt, going, "So hey, we had a deal. We did it.
Yeah.
We got you oil. So
Well, you got
can
one
you-
oil.
we got you what oil we could find in the house.
There's probably more somewhere.
There might
But it's
be.
okay. A deal's a deal. Get you through. I'll take it from here. It's fine. You can make a perception check for me while you're chit-chatting.
Ooh, 21.
21. Very nice. There are a couple of nice little things in here that might fetch a pretty penny if you ever get to civilization somewhere. There's a pair of embroidered velvet slippers in like this richy kind of crimson purpley kind of color. On the table next to the dollhouse, like up on the little porch area of it, there is a false eye that is made of solid gold. And there's a cracked hand mirror that has a gaudy bejeweled handle and frame, but you think that it might get a nice little penny. And then the blanket on the bed is a very nice patchwork quilt.
What was the golden thing that you
A false
said?
eye.
Ooh. Hey, and there's a bunch of shit in here that would fit well in your bag.
I just come running into the room. Did you say shit?
Yes.
Not like I already have enough.
No, like stuff.
Oh.
Then I start pointing to the four things that I saw. These look
Okay.
like they might be able to get us some money, or we
Cool.
might
And I'm just-
might be worth having Victoria look at them when we have a chance to see if
Who's Victoria?
Free.
or Ree, sorry.
I'm
see
like
if they
already
do
putting
something.
everything in the bag. Just I'm just already putting everything in there.
Got
Got
some
it.
stuff. Pretty nice blanket. A shockingly nice blanket. False eye, gold, embroidered slippers, cracked hand mirror.
Patchwork blanket. Got it.
And Squirter's just kind of bouncing back and forth.
Feeling good.
Feeling good. That's awesome. What do you guys want to do? You want to go now? You want me to take you now?
Guys, let's go. It's time to decide.
Is there anything else we want to do here?
I will follow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we
Alright.
put no leads on a unicorn horn here, so we would just kind of be wandering around randomly looking for one.
Yeah.
The other option I can imagine would be to go back together to try to find the cauldron. I don't love that idea, but it's something we should think about. But it was very mobile. It will probably turn up again at some point somewhere else.
That's right. It was going down the river. We just need a van. We'll find it.
We have a boat.
I would like for all of you to make an insight check.
Oh.
What's it?
21.
21 and an 8.
10.
10.
Dirty 20.
20.
9.
14.
14. Anybody over a 20? There's a couple of areas you haven't quite checked out yet around the exterior of the house. You also remember that there was like stuff in those cupboards that you went past.
Who rolled a 20? Or who rolled better than a 20?
Just Dash. I mean, there's
And I
more
think
stuff
Echo.
to look
Echo was,
through.
didn't you have a 20?
I had a 20.
Okay, yeah. You and Dash.
I suggest we provision first before changing locale.
Yeah, there's still more stuff to look through in this house and outside, probably.
Okay. All right, we'll be all right. We'll be back, Squirt, and I'll just start walking away.
Wait, no, wait. No, I'm not gonna stay here, right? You're not gonna leave me here. No, I'm gonna come with you guys. Come with you guys. I
Here,
mean,
jump
if
in my
somebody
bag.
wanted to like give me a ride, that would be great. I would make this whole thing a lot quicker.
I have broad shoulders. We can perch Squirt on one of them.
It's a great idea. Great idea. Thanks, pal.
Why did you come here when the fire happened?
Because this is where the boggles are. And I was pretty sure that you guys were all gonna die, so I took the advantage of Granny Nightshade not being there to go. No offense.
No,
Logical choice.
none taken.
Good. Because you definitely don't look like you're able to take her down. I'm shocked. I'm kind of impressed. Okay.
Well, we'll look for more. See if we find any more boggles while we're going
That
through
would be
cabinets.
awesome.
Maybe.
Did you check in the kitchen?
Maybe you can help us find them.
Well, they're usually in the kitchen. That's a big place where they hang out. And then they like to be sometimes in like the mill area. And then sometimes they like to be in the workshops. They like messing with people, and that's where people were. So
Do you have a good way to catch them?
nope, they're pretty much gigantic compared to me.
I have no further interest in boggles, and I'm going to leave the
I
room.
do.
Just leaving. Goodbye.
I mean, is she in charge? Are they in charge?
Like, pretty much, but
Oh,
also they insist upon not
unfortunate.
being in charge.
I'm in charge.
Oh, that's good. You look like the type who will take out a boggle. No problem.
We're just saying this as I'm following Echo out of the room.
Right.
I'll also follow Echo.
Where are you headed, friends?
To the cupboards.
Okay. You make your way past the portraits, which all of you notice is different now, of Ree and two other figures on the walls, while the other two are white and blank. And you make your way back through to the hallway with the cupboards where you pulled out the weird silk cocoon.
I want to pause by the pictures with Juniper.
Okay.
Juniper, do you want to see a picture of yourself?
Just looks at you, not quite understanding what you're saying.
I can go first.
Okay. The barb comes out and attempts to peck at you, but your exterior shell is impenetrable to it. It does manage to break through a bit, but you're not leaking any sort of fluids for it to absorb.
Read it. See, that one looks kind of like Ree. I don't know if it will hurt. But I'm gonna pick up her paw, put it by the barb.
Okay. She lifts her paw up, trusting you, and as the thorn pierces her skin, she gives a little snuff and a woof at you, and pulls her paw back away, and the portrait that you're looking at transforms itself into Juniper, soaring through the air, and every other portrait is there's like a more salt and pepper gray kind of owlbear on one, and there's one with like dark feathers on the other, and then there's like a couple of little baby ones, but they're all full of different stages of owlbear life.
It looks like your family.
She's like walking around sniffing at all of them.
You can look as long as you want.
She plops down, middle of hallway, her head just
We'll catch up.
okay. You all spend some time in the portrait room. The rest of you make your way to the hallway with the cupboards. What would you like to do?
Loot the room.
Whoever is leading can make an investigation check.
I will assist anybody.
I'll take it. That's
Okay.
I get 2 rolls.
Yes, take the highest.
27.
27. I would like for you to roll me a d4, please.
Oh,
Oh, we're gonna do things.
that's a 2.
A 2. Okay. Roll me a percentile die.
Okay.
Percentiles.
69%.
Uh-huh. I know. Classy. Love it. There is, you find a little pine cone that looks like it's been dipped in silver. And then I would like for you to roll me a percentile dice.
Okay. $79.
79. You find a little wooden magnifying glass that's missing a lens. And buried deep in one of the boxes, you find a unicorn horn.
Ooh.
We don't need this.
It's broken.
I think that can everyone see that what I'm doing?
Not everybody. Echo and Juniper cannot, but everybody else can. They're helping you toss the place. That's why you got advantage. So.
Okay.
And making sure you don't eat things you shouldn't.
Well, I don't want to eat the unicorn horn. It looks spiky. So I'll show everybody the pine cone and the magnifying glass and the unicorn horn. Anything else?
Oh my goodness. That's the unicorn horn.
Cast like some kind of magic detection on it.
On the horn? Oh,
Sure.
me cast something. Yes, yeah, I mean, for
Yeah.
sure.
I could stab it. Should I stab it?
No, I think don't touch it, actually. I'll take it.
It is super magic.
Here you go.
Do I get the
Like
sense
like super magic.
super magic? I can cast identify on it, but I think it's pretty obvious what it is.
Is that Elidon's horn?
I guess so. I guess with all of her stuff, Granny Nightshade must have misplaced it and asked her other sisters if they had it. Or maybe she was trying to intentionally throw them off the trail, but I don't know. This place is kind of a mess.
He needs to get one of these bags. I'm just saying.
That's very true.
Maybe write it down that she's got it and where she put it. I don't know. I'm just saying. Anyway, so are we done? What else? Where else are we going?
Have we made a promise for more boggles?
Anybody see any boggles around here?
Yeah, I mean, did there seem to be any traces of more juice laying around?
There's the drips from when you presume Squirt made their way inside of this place. You do not currently see any boggles. Guys have pretty much it's a really narrow hallway, and you guys have pretty much crammed into it and tossed the entire thing. You're pretty intimately familiar with the space by now.
Yeah, I'm doubtful that there's much left in the kitchen, but they did say that there could be some in the workshop. That they also
Oh.
like to hang out in there. If we wanted to check that out right quick.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's where we found the first one. So it's quite possible there's
okay.
more there. Well, it's possible that's like there's a popular hiding spot, maybe. I don't know.
Where else? Did we need to check outside?
I think we're coming back from the portrait room now.
Okay.
I suggest we check the perimeter. Perhaps foodstuffs for Juniper.
Yes,
I
and
heard
Sounds like
something
a good
did.
plan.
Pumpkins.
There is a garden.
Probably good. The pumpkins are probably good for Juniper's digestive system. You go check that out.
Okay.
Outside?
You all make your way back to the main entrance. Yes. Circle around
Sure.
through the gardens. Okay. Then.
I'm gonna be much more
Veranda.
wary outside. Holding my bow again.
Okay.
Something.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'll just say something did as we walk outside, and I see Echo notch their bow. Something did already ransack this place, and something burned down the goblin market. So I think we should be watchful that it might still be around.
Agreed.
All right. You all exit Lumalurch and circle around down one side of it. Approaching, it's like a woodland basin filled with plants and fungi that stretches out along the side of the fallen tree. There is a pumpkin patch at one end of the garden next to what looks like a steaming compost heap. And there are ramshackle kind of pens for pigs and goats at the opposite end. They have been broken open, and there are currently a number of creatures feasting and gorging themselves upon the garden and the pumpkin patch. There are bedraggled scarecrows that hang from tall wooden stakes and down the basin slope. Excuse me. There are 2 ground level doors and 3 balconies that you can see along the outside of Lumalurch from the garden.
You want a pig or a goat?
She's looking at you, back to them, and you and back to them.
Go, 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 go. Oh, get up.
She goes romping into the pumpkin patch, and there's a scattering of pigs and goats, and you hear a quick little a quick little squeal before it is very quickly cut short. And you hear kind of snuffling and rustling sounds before Juniper pokes her head back up through the coverage of the pumpkin patch and gives you like a little grin on her blood-soaked beak before she dives back into the pumpkin patch again. And you hear more snuffling and rustling and running and little hooves in places, cries cut short quickly, and lots of munching from inside the pumpkin patch. What the rest of you like to do?
I'm just
Juniper is
I'm just
having a
staring
day.
wide-eyed and open-mouthed at Juniper just massacring these animals.
You see a few that manage to like break free and run for the tree line, and they do make it without drawing Juniper's attention. But there is very unpleasant sounds emanating from the pumpkin patch.
Okay.
What the rest of you like to do?
Echo has the closest thing to a smile that we have seen since the death of Little Oak.
Great. Did you mention there was a mill? Maybe? No?
There are pens, multiple
Oh.
pens.
Pens. Thank you. Sorry.
Yes, and a big compost heap.
I want to go check out the compost heap. I'd like to, I think I'll like pull out my dagger and like stab into it and see if I can find anything.
It steams and smells awful as you break through the leafy coverage of it. But you
I'm
do
not gonna
notice
poke
one
through the
thing.
pens.
You do notice one thing as you are both kind of poking about. Previously, part of your plan with Will to free the children had been to set off the screaming scarecrows, and they are not reacting to your presence. They just kind of hang limply on their poles in the garden.
Huh. We should set them on
Echo.
fire.
Echo, you find one itty bitty little tiny piglet hiding up under a food trough in the pen.
I'm gonna carry it out. Say, this one's not even a mouthful yet. Scoot it off towards the forest.
It takes off to the trees. Yep. I can't do the noise.
All the way home.
Amrik Dashri.
Dash was just staring at all the flushed meat running off into the forest. He's just like standing there, like really just trying to restrain himself because he's like, ah, all that fresh meat. These mushroom and nut rations are getting real old.
He's right. Juniper gets all the meat.
Well, oftentimes the meat that we give Juniper is not. I don't think we would want to eat it.
Oh, we could cook it.
You wanted to cook? You want to cook a human body, a humanoid body?
Well, not that. I wouldn't eat that. I mean, unless I was hungry. Depends on how hungry I am.
I'm uncomfortable with this conversation, and I'm going to check to see if there are windows near the doors to let me know which rooms we are near to know, see if they're familiar or ones we haven't seen yet.
Okay, dokie. You see the windows that lead into the doors, and sorry, let me pull my things up. There's definitely spaces that you've seen before. One of them was the sewing room, where you had previously been. The upstairs balcony goes to what was originally the dormitories for the children. There are two empty and fallen kind of suits of armor at both sides of the little balcony outside of that room. And the other one, maps. The other one looks into the workshop. But as you are like moving over towards the windows, underneath the windows, in their own little bed is some absolutely vibrant, beautiful mushrooms.
Mushrooms.
A couple of them look familiar. You saw them dried out in a box in the kitchen.
Guys, I want to take some of these, but I'm not going to eat them. I want to cut them and dry them so that we can maybe
Well,
figure out.
technically, you're poking at a compost heap right now.
Well, that's true.
I will go over to I will look with Amrik. Do they look like we recognize them? Do we recognize them from the circle? that we've seen?
Yes, you do recognize them. And all of them here have little like placards that give their names on them in Sylvan. So you're the only one who can read them. There are these really pretty yellow kind of trumpet shaped mushrooms. The tag says butterfly saddle.
Okay.
There's like a gray one that has like a fringe that hangs off of the cap. It is called an elder cap. There's one that has a pointed, almost shingled kind of cap on it. It's like a white and brown. It's called an executioner's hood.
Okay.
There is one that, as I described earlier, has almost the two caps on the stalk with purple and red kind of pokey bits on top of the cap. It's labeled a hummingbrella.
Hmm.
And then there's one that grows in little clusters and it looks almost like a thistle, except it has red spikes that reach out from the top of it. And it's called a prickle noggin.
A prickle noggin. Well, they certainly know how to name things here.
Are any of these familiar from my past studies of medically useful things, either verbally or assuming that Rhea is saying them out loud by name?
Yeah, you can make a nature check. Medicine, nature or medicine, whichever one.
I will do medicine. It's an 18.
An 18. Let me take a look.
Mostly just wanted an excuse to do a medicine check.
Use the skills.
The one that seems to have like the little red and purple bits on top of it, there's a similar one that you have studied that is used as an antitoxin, but you're not quite sure of the rest of them. You've seen them here in the Feywild, and some of them really in prolific amounts, but you're not quite sure of what they're all used for. Sorry, pretty high DC on them.
As I study or just look at them, do they feel like magical at all?
I mean, they have that kind of fey essence that really everything here is touched with. And the colors are kind of almost unnaturally bright, but you're not certain that they are necessarily magical in their properties.
Okay. Interesting.
More natural as opposed to magical.
Gotcha. I'm gonna take a handful of like one or two of each of them, except for the one that was the black one. What was that called
The black
again?
one? The
Yeah.
executioner's hood?
Yeah, not
Okay.
gonna take that one. Just for the sake of it.
Okay.
And just keep them on hand. Probably give them to Echo when I see them.
As like a little side note that I'll take out later, that's also something that you could consider as like a downtime activity. Like when you have downtime, you could, study things like this, or you can study your books, or, that's the kinds of things you can do with your downtime.
Love.
It's like when you have a couple of hours while you're making camp and fucking around before sleep. It's the kind of stuff that you can do.
Cool.
Okay. You have mushrooms.
Got mushrooms.
Anybody else? We doing anything? Just hanging out?
I'm going to take something long probably one of the sticks from the scarecrows and plunge it into the dung heap.
It squishes. Smells bad.
Does that satisfy you, Indi?
Like throwing
don't
sticks
know.
into things.
Sure. It
I would
satisfies
recommend
me to do it myself, but I really enjoy the company.
cleaning your dagger and then just walking away to go look at other things.
I'll just look at Echo and take the dagger and like
Oh.
wipe it on my shirt right where my chest is, and then be like, looks good, and put it away.
Gross.
Kitty.
You have a smear of indecipherable material across your shirt.
We're gonna call it compost.
Eco-friendly.
Sounds more,
Eco
yeah,
fat.
it sounds better when it's compost, you know?
What'd you like to do, y'all?
Or
Squirt,
three
do you think
doors?
there's any other place down here that might have more of your boggles, or before we head out of here?
Hey, Squirt,
Yeah.
you see any more boggles?
Nope.
Okay.
Lost my pen.
Oh no.
Got more.
Here, you can have this one.
I'll get more. Thanks, friend.
Wow. They honestly looked similar. That's crazy.
Sleight of zoom roll passed.
Ah,
Okay.
Um, does while we're outside, are there any like tracks or like essence rem my brain remnants of like devastation that are similar to like what we saw in the Goblin Market or in the front room, the parlor?
There is some evidence of, like some of these crops being kind of trampled underfoot. Some of the pumpkins
Mhm.
are smashed and split, but you're not sure if it was caused like purposefully or by animals escaping, or you're not sure of the precise manner of it, but there has been some sort of disturbance.
Is there like a trail? Like, what way does it go?
It doesn't really have a specific sort of trail. Everything's just kind of trampled underfoot, it looks like.
Mhm.
You notice the trail where, some of these animals peeled off out of the pumpkin patch, but you
Mhm.
also saw them peeling off, so you can clearly see the evidence
Yeah.
of them as well too. But you don't see any other sort of animal or humanoid movement or sign
Okay.
of them. What now, friends?
so it's just as I'm done with the compost heap and I'm looking around, there's like a mushroom. You said there's like a mushroom patch, and then there's like a garden.
Mm-hmm. Big
Okay.
pumpkin patch. And there's other plants in there too. There's let me find it again. Damn it. There it is. Okay, so there's like licorice and sugarcane and marshmallow, and then there's like various unidentified herbs, and there's like some sort of seeded vegetable growing, some sort of vine with something in a pod, some sort of bean in a pod, but you're not quite sure what all of it is.
Okay. Can I make some sort of insight check as to what might be useful?
You can make a nature check.
Okay. So 13.
13. You're not so much sure of what would be useful, but you know it would probably be pretty damn good.
I kind of want to get in there closer. Is there anything, or maybe just take some cuttings of a few different
Yeah.
things, maybe two of
Easy
each.
enough to do. Yeah, easy enough
Okay.
to do.
And I'll like tie them up with a little bit of that string that I got. From
Yeah.
um,
The gold thread that you
yeah, yeah. No, not the gold thread. There was like, um,
The cocoon.
yeah, the well, no, the
Silk.
cocoon, whenever I got the cocoon, I got a bunch of thread from there, and I can use that.
I gotcha.
Put
Okie
little
doke.
sections and
Yeah,
then
plants.
maybe investigate that area for anything else.
I think you've
Like
pretty much
treasure. Is there any treasure?
found everything that's there to be found. It
Okay.
takes you a little bit to get you some cuttings of all the different plants though. So what is
Okay.
everybody else doing? Dash and Almeric, I feel like we haven't heard from you in a while.
Just generally looking around, and he Dash asked Squirt if there was anywhere else that he thought Boggles might be, and other than that, he's just kind of chilling,
Okay.
just kind of looking around.
You can make me an investigation check.
This will go well. 13.
13, okay. Yeah, so kind of hanging out with Squirt and expressing your intention of looking for Boggles, and the two, he's like hopping in front of you back and forth, and you're kind of following the body of the fallen tree that makes up the loom larch, and you go kind of to the north of the pumpkin patch and go around what would have been a branch, and on the back side of it there is a rocking horse sitting in a little nook of the tree branch.
Hmm. It does not please me. But I'll go up and kind of look at it, see if it still feels possessed.
Okay. It is kind of creaking softly and moving back and forth. It has peeling paint on its limbs, and the rocker is thick with moss. There's a grin painted on its face, not on its face. And near a protruding root is a little painted wooden box about 3 feet on a side with a crank protruding from one side of it. And the rocking horse, you notice, has an indentation in its forehead.
Ooh. Can I try to look at the head and see if it looks like anything that I've seen, like if anything we've come across might fill that void, or if it just looks like a crack or
I mean, it's very deliberate round indentation. Maybe 2 inches in diameter. Am I using the wrong word? What's this line?
Diameter, yep.
Diameter.
yeah,
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 yeah.
you're right.
Am I doing this right? It's not this.
Yeah, you got
It's
Nah.
Yeah.
Is this visible from where we are?
Not from where you guys are, no. Dash has kind of wandered off with sports.
Um,
I don't think he was trying to hide where he was going. You may have
No,
caught a
yes.
sight of
No.
him out of the corner of your eye. Especially
Um,
Echo.
I got to turn around and look at the Jack in the Box and kind of play around with the crank on it, see if it even seems like it's going to move.
He tinkles out a little melody as you turn it.
I will walk over to where Dash is with an eye on this guy and my bow still ready.
Okay.
Did you find
Hey.
something?
Yeah, there's a weird looking recess in this rocking horse's head that seems intriguing. There's also this Jack in the Box over here
That was how
seems like it's functional.
that was how Cradle what's his face got around, right? The Jack in the Boxes.
I believe so.
Did Indi lift anything from the rooms that would fit in that hole?
I have no idea.
Can is Endai there yet, or is he still
No.
flowers?
No, you're still cutting flowers. Cutting
All right.
plants.
I think I might just meander back to the group and say, hey, we've got a little more mystery over here. If anybody is interested.
I'll join. I'll come look.
Yep.
All right. You all reconvene at a rocking horse.
Where did you say the indentation was?
On its forehead.
In the shape of an L.
Is this like the rocking horse that we saw her riding?
It is.
Randy Nightshade? Oh, very interesting.
Yeah, when I came up upon it, it was still kind of vaguely rocking, which
It is
Yeah.
still
so
You know.
vaguely
unsettling.
rocking.
moderately
You said it had a
unsettling.
crank? And you said
No,
it
there's
had a-
the crank is over here on the Jack in the Box.
Oh, okay. It's not on the rocking horse.
No.
Okay.
Is the indentation like sorry.
Like right
Okay.
Like right here, yeah, in the forehead, you like a thing. That's what I'm
Right
thinking.
here.
I wonder, I think this might be a crazy thing to do to this object that is perhaps evil, but I'll take out the unicorn horn and I'll, if I can reach it, try and put it into the indentation.
All right. You place the unicorn horn into the indentation, and there is a flash of white light that blinds all of you. And after a second of blinking and clearing your eyes, there is an radiant, majestic unicorn standing in front of you.
Oh my
That's where we're going to end tonight.
Oh man. Right.
Yay! Yeah. All right, so we'll
Knew
wrap up
it.
there, and we'll have our little chatty chat in just a few minutes. But until then, make sure you like and subscribe, because then you get to know when new episodes come out, and that's really important. You want to stay on top of listening to
Yeah.
this one. Shit's happening constantly, so. We'll say good night for the evening. Hello, future me. I'll see you soon. Everybody. All right, guys. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Everybody say bye.
Bye.
Bye.